What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Masson, host of Live from Fayettenam. It's another Live from Fayettenam Friday. Actually, been off the last few weeks. Had a little personal medical issue I was dealing with, nothing life threatening, but was dealing with some pain and some uncomfort and whatnot. And I had a couple people that actually rescheduled for the interviews. They had to cancel due to other obligations. So we're looking to actually reschedule the interviews with both members of the GOATs here soon and Thurston Howe the third. And I still have an interview coming up next week. Long as everything goes through right. He don't have to reschedule or cancel, but we got Sonny Chiba from Camp Low will be coming on next week, and that one actually will be pre-recorded, but I will be streaming it live, as some of these people do they do prefer pre-recorded interviews over live interviews. That way they can actually check out the interview before I put it out and stuff like that. Which I understand. Sometimes people say things that they don't want to say. Interviewed a fighter one time, and he said something about an injury he felt like he shouldn't have said. I kind of could expose a weakness at the time, so he asked to cut that out and whatnot. And as long as they ain't bossy with it, and they ask and they don't tell, hey, I'm fine with doing it. I'm gonna get into some topics today. Don't have nobody to interview today. I'm gonna start a new thing where we do the music reviews on Saturday. So tomorrow, Saturday, I will be doing music reviews probably around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time. So tune in for that. Make sure you submit your MP3 to livefromfayettenam at gmail.com. And I repeat, submit your MP3 to livefromfayettenam at gmail.com. Let's go ahead and make sure we throw that in the comment sections as well. Want to throw it in. Of course, I go live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you follow Live from Fayettenam on all those platforms. The audio version will be downloaded, and the audio version will go to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. Um, Also, don't forget to follow the Paul Pickett podcast. I got an interview Sunday with Steve Panda Banks, who will be fighting for BKFC in Italy, and I got a interview with Chachi Versace, who's the opponent of the last person I interviewed, which is Anthony Yost, and they will be fighting at BKFC in Clearwater, Florida. 1 second here. I want to make sure I throw this comment in there. Um, so I will not be doing music reviews today, but I will be doing music reviews tomorrow. But make sure you go ahead and submit your MP3 now, live for Fayettenam at gmail.com. And from now on, what I'm gonna start doing is that is if they're interested. All the winners for song of the day, I'm gonna basically do an interview for them if they want to do an interview when you get song of the day every Saturday. So we'll be ramping up a lot more interviews with a lot of these unsigned artists, as they get song of the day. And some of those will probably be, during the week, maybe Monday through Thursday. They more likely won't all be on Fridays. I'll probably keep Fridays reserved for a lot of the 80s and 90s hip hop and R&B artists, as I'm working on some other interviews here soon. I don't want to put out no names just yet, but I'm definitely working on some interviews soon. All right, so let's get into, I guess, the first topic I wanted to talk about that I saw. Let me go ahead and pull this banner up. Where you at? Where you at? All right, so Carmelo Anthony debates whether J. Cole is a top 10 rapper of all time. And anybody tune in, please make sure you comment, let me know what you think. Mama Reba, appreciate you tuning in. So let me know, do y'all think, like, is J. Cole a top 10 artist or rapper of all time? I think when you go off of success, there's an argument to be made. You know, I think about the 90s. How many rappers were considered top 3 all throughout the 90s? Um, Probably not a lot. It probably fluctuated like crazy. I don't know if there was a clear, I guess Nas would be one of the guys in the 90s, was probably clearly up there. I mean, you had so many rappers die early. Uh I mean, Jay-Z, I guess Jay-Z had a pretty good 90s run. Nas, Jay-Z, M had a pretty good 90s run. Um, I don't think M, that's the thing, as big as M is, nobody's really put him in the top 3 in the last 15 years. J. Cole has literally been considered one of the top 3 artists in hip hop for the last 15 years, I want to say. Last 15, I mean, that's a pretty good run, you know. LL Cool J literally had, you know, two or three decades that he made music. I mean, he had a 10 straight platinum albums, but I don't think LL Cool J was ever considered one of the top 3 rappers in hip hop past the 80s. I don't think for 15 years he was considered one of the top 3 artists. J. Cole has a music festival, which is supposed to be the last year of it, but his music festival literally, appreciate it, Mama Reba, love you too. Um, J. Cole literally, his music festival had about 100,000 people at his event. 100,000 people. I can tell you right now, the main reason that festival is pulling in as much as it is because the headliner, J. Cole. J. Cole was the first rapper to sell out the Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Yes, he's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, but you know how hard it is to sell out the Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I mean, you could bring 10 artists on the level of 2 Chainz and you ain't selling out, man. Not for rap. You could bring old school R&B, and I don't even know if you're gonna sell out. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's a tough market. You selling out the Crown Coliseum, you are a huge artist. I could tell you that right now. There's an argument to be made, man. There's an argument to be made that J. Cole could be one of the top 10 rappers of all time if you're going off of success. Going off of success. And I think you have to factor in 2 things when you make this list. Uh, Talent, skill level, and success. You have some guys with tremendous talent and skill level that won't really that successful like J. Cole. And even though they might be a little bit more talented or a little bit more skill level, I still can't put them over J. Cole. And I'm not being biased one bit just because this is live from Fayettenam and J. Cole's from Fayettenam. Anybody that knows me, like, I was totally disappointed in J. Cole apologizing to Kendrick. So it's not like I haven't been critical of Cole, you know. But there's an argument to be made, man. There's an argument to be made that based off of his fan base and his longevity of being, considered one of the top 3 rappers in the last 15 years, there's an argument to be made. Even if it's just number 10 or 9 or 10, there's an argument to be made that J. Cole is literally a top 10 rapper of all time. I mean, you could argue against it, maybe because he probably doesn't have a lot of classic albums. I look at a cat like Nas. Nas has at least, in my opinion, 3 classic albums. Jay-Z has, in my opinion, 4 classic albums at least, you know. So you can look at that. How many classic albums does he got? If you want to include hit records and singles, I mean, J. Cole isn't really hurting for hit songs. I can tell you that much. He's not hurting for attention to any song. Anything J. Cole drops, a shit ton of people are gonna go and check it out. So, Carmelo Anthony, by the way, um, he said that he thinks J. Cole is a top 10 rapper of all time. I think he has an argument to be made, and I think you could go either way with it. But I wouldn't be mad at J. Cole being considered a top 10 rapper of all time. Just the impact. Um, I know people gonna try to compare the skill level to the '90s. Well, yeah, he's might not be as skilled as a lot of the guys in the '90s, but he definitely had a bigger impact than a lot of guys in the '90s. Um, and his skill level is top notch for this era. Definitely top notch for this era when there's not a lot of skilled artists in this era. All right, so let me get to this next topic. Want to get to this next topic. Make sure y'all still awake. Appreciate anybody's tuning in. I know I've been off for a few weeks, but now that I got everything situated, we're gonna keep it moving. Chris, appreciate you. Let me know what you think, man. Is J. Cole a top 10 rapper of all time, man? Before I move on from this topic. And like I said, I mean, if you're going off success, I think there's an argument to be made. If you want to go off of skill level alone, clearly not. Clearly not would J. Cole be in my top 10 if I'm going off a skill level alone, but I wouldn't be mad at either way. I wouldn't be mad if he wasn't in the top 10, and I wouldn't be mad if he was just cuz his impact. And and that's the thing. I've told Fayetteville people this before. I feel like we should take some pride in the fact that we have an artist that is literally from our hometown that's always shouting out our hometown. And he's literally been considered top 3 in the last 15 years. So Chris said he definitely is. I don't think I'm gonna argue with that. I mean, the impact, the skill level for this era, and even if you do throw him up against people in the '90s, I think Cole would have. There's a lot of cats that he could have competed with, and he could have probably took out in the '90s. You know, he comes from that bomb shelter um tree, so definitely, man, definitely some cats he could have took out in the '90s if he felt he wanted to go at some cats in the '90s. I don't know too many rappers that have been top 15. I mean, top 3 for 15 straight years, or been considered top 3 for 15 straight years. I don't know too many. Like I said, LL dropped 10 straight platinum albums. Nowhere in the '90s was anybody saying LL was top 3 as far as production skills. And that's the thing. Okay, he produces too. That's the thing. He produces his own music as well. Lyrically, he stands out from most people in the last 15 years. His production is really dope. He's got a nice sound. All around a solid artist. I agree. He can harmonize some tracks. Um he could go straight lyrical on you. He could kind of go a little bit more commercial, mainstream with it if need be. When you had songs like Trey Young, I mean not Trey Young, the Trey Song single and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna say that J. Cole is probably a top 10 rapper of all time if we're going off of success and impact at any moment in hip hop. I just don't know how many rappers we could name that were considered top 3. And And I probably got to put Kendrick up there too. I probably got to throw Kendrick in that too, because he's probably been number one of that whole era. But a lot of these guys, their success in the '90s was, it was not really on the level of a J. Cole or a Kendrick, or even definitely not on the level of a Drake. But Drake is also does R&B music, so. But yeah, I'm gonna say J. Cole is probably a top 10 rapper of all time, just of his impact for the last 15 years, his skill level in this era, production level, in this era. Um, and you don't hear nothing bad about J. Cole outside of his music. You don't hear I've never heard really nothing bad about J. Cole. The worst thing we heard about J. Cole is that he apologized to Kendrick Lamar. That's like the worst thing. You don't hear about this dude rides a bike in New York, man. You don't hear about nobody trying to rob Cole because he doesn't, try to play shoot 'em up, bang bang, gangster. He's not wearing a lot of jewelry. He's like he dresses like Bill Gates when you think about it. He doesn't wear nothing flashy, whatsoever, man. So, very, very humble cat, man. For a cat that, to be honest with you, I know there's got to be a little bit of cocky arrogance over there, as big as he is and big as his fan base is. But he says all the right things. He's very humble. His impact has been tremendous. I'm proud to say that you know he's from Fayettenam, North Carolina, and been one of the top 3 artists for at least 15 years. That could be changing now, but for the moment, I mean, he just 100,000 at people at Dreamville Fest. I don't even know why they're gonna stop Dreamville Fest. I mean, keep it going, man. He's too big. He's too big, man. All right, let's get into the next topic. Kanye West sides with Drake UMG battle. Really, I don't want to talk about this so much just because Kanye West is siding with Drake. Kanye does if he does if Kanye's doing what he's doing just for attention, just to stay relevant, I mean he's a genius and he's a bold genius. He's a mad genius. Um, Kanye West is willing to do things that nobody else is willing to do. And before I get into the UMG part, people think Kanye is crazy. That's the thing. Anything that people don't normally do, or a lot of people don't normally do, or the average person don't normally do, we always label as crazy. And, knowing that how the human mind is and the human species is, I don't, look at anything out of the realm of possibility, and especially in today's society where I think we're living in an age that is one of the most radical of my lifetimes on both sides of the fence. It's the most radical of my lifetime. Some of these ideas are like out of fairy tales, and people try to pawn them on us reality. So nothing surprises me anymore. I've done seen it all with the internet. I mean, I done seen so many crazy things on the internet. Nothing else surprised me. But all right, so this UMG battle. UMG apparently has offered to settle with Drake and give him 250 million. Um, that's a win-win for Drake. That's a win-win for Drake. I'm pretty sure he hasn't spent 250 million in legal fees. Even if he spent like 50 million in legal fees, which I doubt he has, he's probably spent millions, maybe some millions in legal fees. But even if you spent 50 million in legal fees and he's getting 250 million, that's a win-win. Now, it's not a win-win for the music industry. Because that's the thing. If UMG and Drake accept these terms, right? and Drake decides, hey, yeah, I'm gonna accept this 250 million. Um, I'm gonna accept this money. I'm gonna accept the terms of this law, and I'm pretty sure there's some other terms that Drake's gonna want in that lawsuit. Drake's gonna want them to probably admit guilt, and appreciate you, Sean. Thanks for tuning in. Drake's gonna want them to admit guilt, and I'm pretty sure UMG is gonna want to avoid admitting guilt. That's probably partially why they're trying to pay out. Now, when you a lot of companies like this want to avoid all this negative attention and want to avoid um years of litigation and going through this lawsuit. So a lot of them will just try to kick out a lot of money. But even if you're not guilty, the problem is you look guilty. We know how the court of public opinion is. I mean, you know, that's like the actor that Jonathan, I can't think of his name, Jonathan something, played the Marvel movie. I mean, literally was not guilty for what he did, but like the court of public opinion is still looking at him a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So when you get this $250 million to Drake, we're gonna be looking at you like, yeah, you look guilty, whether you're guilty or not. Now, what will this do for the music industry? I can tell you this much. Battling artists and calling out artists will be less popular. It will be less popular because you're gonna have to watch what you say. And I will admit that this Drake and Kendrick battle, as they call it, it got personal. Once one side calls the other side a pedophile, it's more than a battle now. It's no longer just a battle. This is far more personal, you know, because court of public opinion. I mean, Drake has already been getting clowned like crazy. He's been the face of all types of memes. He's been the celebrity, the head figure of all types of memes. Drake is definitely lost fans because of this. It's definitely worse than the 50 Cent and Ja Rule. Cause yeah, Drake's still doing numbers. He's still gonna get shows. There's a lot of places though Drake ain't gonna get shows. I can tell you right now, it don't look like Drake gonna be getting LA money anytime soon. Um his peoples of Canada jumped Rick Ross. I don't when he went to Canada for a show, which that was dumb. I don't know what he was thinking. Um he might be the boss of Miami. He wasn't the boss of Canada that night, that's for sure. I don't know if he's gonna get Miami shows. There's gonna be a lot of places that don't wanna fuck with Drake no more. He's never gonna fully get his reputation back simply because there's people, whether the allegations are true or not, there's people that are gonna believe they're true. Um, I think it's easy for Drake to prove that he lost money in this situation. I think it's easy to prove that Drake lost fans in this situation. And that's really what defamation is about. Not only that, his crew been getting clowned, especially his OVO artists. That see, even guilty by association. You think so? They definitely could prove that there was effect on their bottom line. You know what I'm saying when it comes to making money and getting streams and stuff like that. It's gonna be easy for Drake to prove that he lost fans and lost money in this. He might have, if he lost one endorsement after this, even one endorsement, he's gonna be able to prove it. And I guarantee there probably is some endorsements that probably dropped Drake because they believe he could possibly be a pedophile. And that's the thing. When you call somebody a pedophile to that many people, this ain't just no battle no more. I mean, 50 called Ja Rule a wankster. I mean, but he didn't call him no pedophile and nothing like that. And if he would have, Ja Rule would have definitely had a defamation case. He definitely would have had a defamation case. And because this is the thing, man, like Drake doesn't really have to prove that he's a pedophile or not a pedophile. Excuse me. He doesn't have to prove that he's not a pedophile. UMG and the people that defamed him, they're the ones that got to prove it. Let's see what he say. But I honestly think there's more in detail with Drake and his business deals with UMG. But we will see what happens at the end. Yeah, I just know that if UMG coughs up 250 million, they're gonna basically show guilt in this situation, and it's gonna be like what's going on with Ja Rule right now. I don't if you watch basketball like I do, all right. So Ja Rule been throwing up the gun motion signs after he been scoring, right? And he got fined 70,000. So there was a player that I seen on the team. It was like Detroit or something that tried to throw up the little gun sign thing and caught himself and stopped himself from doing it because he realized he ain't got 70,000 to be kicking out on fines and whatnot. You know, it's kind of like that. It's like rappers are going to be a little wary about when they call somebody out what they say when you can file a defamation lawsuit because of a song, so yeah, I just think this is gonna be interesting to see where this goes because if Drake wins this lawsuit, I mean if he accepts that money and takes that and wins this lawsuit, a lot of people are going to be skeptical about calling people out in the music business. And if they do, they're definitely going to watch what they say about them. They're definitely not going to call them pedophiles and kitty diddlers and things of that nature. They're probably going to keep it more on use a bitch and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or you ain't getting no money or you ain't fucking no bitches or something of that nature. Because I mean, people can say what they want, man. But when you call somebody as big as Drake a pedophile to that many people, this ain't a battle no more, man. Because now it's a battle for his reputation, basically for him, man. Because whether he is or not, it's not a good look to go through life with everybody, everywhere you walk, every room you walk in, people are looking at you sideways, like you a pedophile. I mean, that's one of the most heinous things to be in society. I mean, that's probably what the worst thing besides being like a cold-blooded murderer or killing somebody, like a psychopath like Charles Manson or something like that. Like being a pedophile was like top of the list, man. Like, you could throw them cats in front of firing squads and I wouldn't feel no remorse. They probably gonna flag my video for saying that, but oh well. All right, let's get into a quick commercial break. Let's, give y'all a little dizzle. We'll be right back.
That dizzle ain't no joke, got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some smoke? Cause it's up, I be dizzled up. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gon' lie, I cannot get enough. When Callie said I need another one, gon' have you coming back for more. But go get it while it's hot, before it be sold out in your stores. That dizzle.
That's right. You heard the beautiful lady. I really mean it. You could dizzle too. Dizzle is a premium luxury liqueur mixed with agave tequila, cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. So your dizzle on ice, and it's nice. Want to order your very own bottle or bottles? Go to dizzlebrand.com. Also available in stores in California, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Georgia. Just go to dizzlebrand.com, click on our locations, and you can find a store near you. So I got a couple more things I want to talk about. I'm trying to wrap them up because BKFC's in Omaha tonight. Make sure y'all tune in for that. If you got Amazon Prime, it's available on Amazon Prime. And there's this topic that's been going around lately I want to get into. Um Age limit in hip hop. Age limit in hip hop. It's a very touchy subject for a lot of old school hip hop artists. I could tell you that much. There's a lot of things going on. I've been hearing people saying, if you're over 35, 40 years old, you shouldn't be performing and doing shows. I think that's dumb because if you're an artist that people are still willing to pay you to perform, and show promoters are still willing to pay for you to perform, and people are still willing to pay to show up and watch you perform, then why would you not still perform? You got Lenny Williams is literally 80 years old, still performing, selling out you know, shows and shit. So yeah, like that's dumb. And it's really dumb coming from like the young generation rappers because it implies that they should quit performing at age 35 or 40. That they shouldn't be performing after those ages. And I could tell you right now, um, if a lot of them start hurting for money outside of performing and they're still able to get shows, like for a cat like say let's take Designer for example, who has a really big hit record. I will say Panda was a really huge hit record, probably one of the most memorable hit records in the last probably 15 years, only because of the beat. So many people rapped over the beat. um I mean, as long if he's getting shows 10 years later from now, why would he still not book that show and at least go perform Panda and a couple other tracks? I done booked artists before that literally only performed 3 songs. Like literally when I booked Rampage at Big Shots back in the days, I mean think about it. The guy's only got 3 really memorable songs to really perform. You got Wild for the Night, which was his solo single. Um you got the Flavor in Your Ear remix, which he had a verse on that, so he performs his verse off of that. And you got the Mariah Carey track off of Flip Mode, Baby, if you give it to me, give it to you. I know what you want. And if you got 3 memorable songs like that, you could do a show where it's like him and he would do the show with him and Digga because Digga would do her songs. He might do his 3 songs twice and Digga do whatever song she got. And to be honest with you, Digga don't got as many memorable songs either. So, but as long as you got one hit that people really, really still gravitate to, you can still do shows. Skilo, Wish I Was a Baller, Young MC, Bust a Move. I mean, all these cats really only go and perform these one songs that anybody really knows. And if people still willing to pay you, and that's the thing, show promoters, if a show promoter is willing to pay you to perform, why would you not take that show? Unless it's at a spot that's just not a good spot to perform at. I get that. But that just don't make no sense to have an age limit on somebody paying you to perform. So let's get that out of the way. I don't care how old you are, as long as people are willing to pay, show promoters are willing to pay, and people willing to buy tickets. And that's the thing: when a show promoter books an artist, it's up to the show promoter to actually book an artist that is going to sell in a specific area. Like all artists don't sell in all areas. So, like For example, you don't bring a lot of 90s hip hop artists to Fayetteville. You take them to Raleigh, Chapel Hill, maybe Charlotte. You don't bring them to Fayetteville. Fayetteville, you bring more of the trap and drill kind of artists and stuff like that. So you got to know your market as a show promoter. You got to understand how many people in that specific area are willing to pay to come out and watch that guy perform, you know. And yes, it's up to the artist's name to bring listeners and sell tickets, but it's up to you as a show promoter also to book an artist that is going to have the impact enough to sell out the event and sell enough tickets. So age limit in hip hop for performing? No. All right. So is there an age limit in hip hop for establishing yourself as an artist? I think so. I think there is. And I've been doing some research. All right. So this is what I do know. I do know major labels are not signing artists that are older than 35 really right now. Only one I did some chat GPT and I've only seen where one artist, only one artist is signed a major label deal over the age of 35 and that deal went through. Now there was three artists in general. Like so you had all right, just to give y'all some context. Freddie Gibbs was born in 82, which is like I was born in 79, he was born in 82. He's like a few years younger than me. He signed with Warner Records in 2022 at the age of 40. But the thing about that is Freddie Gibbs was already an established artist. How many years before 40 was an established artist? Um, I don't know, man. I want to say over 5 years at least. So, which means that Freddie Gibbs probably established himself as an artist below the age of 35. Now you had Jaz-O did sign with Rockefeller at 54, but I don't know if that was a artist deal or production deal. And that deal seemed to not go through. But then you had Too Short signed with a major label. He signed with Jive when it doesn't say how old he was, but I guess he was over 35, but Too Short was also established already. He was also an established artist. So I do think there's an age limit on establishing yourself as an artist. There's definitely an age limit on signing with a major label for the most part if you're not already established. I could tell you that much. Major label is not going to sign a guy at 35 who's not established, clearly, because they haven't. They've only signed three guys over 35, and they were already all established artists. Jaz-O been out forever. Before that, Too Short been out forever, selling mad units to the trunk. And Freddie Gibbs was already established independent artist who just finally signed a major deal at 40. But that's it, man. So if you're looking to sign with a major label, yes, you're probably gonna have to try to sign and get on real young, real early. Labels prefer to sign younger artists anyways because they're dumber artists. They don't know contracts or anything of that sorts. So you got that. So yes, I think there is an age limit on establishing yourself as an artist. If you have an established fan base by 35, more likely you're not going to establish enough fan base afterwards. And I don't think you're ever going to sign with a major label after 35. So even if you do make it, even if quote unquote somebody does make it, establish themselves as an artist after 35, they're probably gonna have to stay independent. They probably would have to stay independent. I don't know how old Tech Nine was when he got established, but he had a big investor, and that's really the big problem here is the music business is a business where most people don't invest their own money, man. most people don't invest their own money into this business. They might invest their own money up to a certain point, but when they try to once an artist sign with a major label, they're typically not looking to invest their own money afterwards. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with this business is that this is a business that most people are getting into knowing they're looking for somebody else to invest all the money. That's where you fuck yourself right there. Cause why would you get the brunt? Why would you make the brunt of the money off of a deal that you put no money into? If a label's kicking out $1 million advance and you're not spending any money out of your pocket, why would you think that you're gonna get the brunt of the deal, man? You know, it just don't make sense to me. It's like artists really screw themselves literally by signing with a major label in the first place, because you're expecting them to invest all the money while you pretty much, if you were investing money up to that point, most of the time artists are going to not come out of their pocket once they sign with the major label. That's why they're trying to sign with a major label. Because if not, you would stay independent and just come out the pocket. And that's why Rockefeller was had such a great deal, because they came into the game with their own money. That's why Master P had such a great deal, because he didn't need major labels. Cash Money didn't really need major labels. And that's another problem. Just the problem with this business is that most people don't realize that it's hard to get enough money to make it independently. So you're at mercy to the labels. You're at mercy to trying to sign the labels. Let's get to this last topic. Actually, hold up. We want to scroll this one. Last topic is any classic music today. So, doing some research, and I was just looking up what are like the biggest songs in the last 15 years. This is what Google said. In the last 15 years, some of the most popular and influential hip hop songs include Moment for Life by Nicki Minaj featuring Drake, which was big. Look at Me Now by Chris Brown featuring Lil Wayne and Busta Rhymes. I'm On One featuring Khaled, Drake, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, and Hotline Bling by Drake, which that really ain't no hip hop song. Other notable songs include I by Kendrick, All Right by Kendrick, Humble by Kendrick. I think Kendrick has a couple singles that might be bigger than those. Um Additionally, songs like Jesus Walk by Kanye, Kick Push by Lupe has garnered significant critical acclaim. Um do I think any of those are classic? Maybe Jesus Walks, Kick Push. Hotline Bling is more of an R&B song. I'm On One. I mean, it's a pretty dope record. But this just doesn't say much for is there any classic music today? I'm gonna go on a limb and say for the most part, no. If I had to pick any artist that had the classic music of this last 15 years, I probably would be the Drakes, the Kendricks, the Coles, yeah, probably some Kanye. Um, Now they got Lupe Fiasco, Kick Push. I actually like the two Lupe Fiasco singles he had. The Superstar one and the other one that he had off of that album as well. I think both of them are really dope singles. I think that Schoolboy Q probably has a couple classic singles with that part and Studio. But for the most part, I don't think most of these guys have classic singles. Why do I say that? Originality. Originality, man. None of the production is original nowadays for the most part. The majority of the production is not original. The styles, they all these rappers have the same style. They all just harmonize in rapping. Um None of them really have lyrics that are super memorable. nothing about it is really classic and timeless because it all sounds the same. None of it stands out amongst for the most part because they all got the same sounds, man. Same sounds, same style, same subject matter. Um, and that's why Kendrick Cole and Drake and cats like that stand out because their sound was maybe not Drake so much, but a lot of people were copying his sound. But Kendrick and Cole definitely had a sound that stood apart from most of the mainstream hip hop in the last 15 years. And I think that's another reason why they're probably both top 10 rappers of all time and why they were able to stand apart because they were able to be super successful, you know, at a time where only a certain sound is dominating for the most part, you know. When you go to mainstream hip hop, once you get past Kendrick, Cole, Kanye, maybe Rick Ross or something like that, the sound it's all the same, man. You got too many Migo copycats, too many Rod Wave copycats, Future copycats, Travis Scott copycats. I mean, they're just all none of it's original, man. And some of these guys, yeah, they got some superstardom to them. Like Future seems to be a superstar. Travis Scott seems to be a superstar. But I still don't think that 15, 20 years from now, people are going to say any of this music was classic or any of this music was really timeless. I don't. I don't think this music is going to age well, you know. I just don't think it is. And I don't think none of it's really gonna stand out amongst the rest for the most part. So no, I don't believe there's hardly any classic music today. Eric Sermon, brought this up. If you look at all the classic timeless songs from hip hop, they all sound different, man. They all got different vibes, different subject matters, different styles, different flows, different deliveries, different beats. Every all these you can't tell most of these beats apart from each other nowadays. They all sound the same. All these drill beats sound the same. All these 808 beats sound the same. They don't really try to go digging in the crates for sounds as much as they used to back in the days. Most of the people just take what sounds these softwares like Fruity Loops or whatever they're making beats on. They just take whatever sounds they're given. Or then you got this is the era of people sharing drum kits and all types of sounds where everybody's just using all the same sounds over and over and over again. So no, I don't think there's any classic music really in this era. Very few. I mean, very few compared to the 90s and even compared to the 80s, you know. And I feel like that's what I almost feel like. I feel like we're in a trap and drill version of the 80s because the flow is so basic nowadays. Except for the subject matter just all being like predominantly degenerate. And I think that's another reason why it's not gonna age too well. Like modern day rap is for degenerates. Modern day mainstream rap is for degenerates. If you want to get into some non-degenerate music and rap, you got to go underground, man. You got to go digging in the crates, man. So yeah. Well, we're about to wrap it up, man. Appreciate anybody tuning in. Appreciate anybody that commented. Go check out my last couple interviews I did. Did an interview with Nine recently. I think it's been a while since anybody's interviewed Nine. And I did an interview with Afu Ra, who does have some shows out in the West Coast coming up soon, I think in June or July. And I still should have Sonny Chiba from Camp Blow. I'm gonna follow up with him and make sure we still good. We'll try to reschedule with Thurston Howe, and we're gonna try to reschedule with the Goats. And I'm working on some other interviews as well. Had a few people hit me back say that they're down for an interview. Just gotta lock in a date as well. Also, go follow the Paul Pickett podcast on all the same platforms as Live from Fayettenam, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, Twitter, whatever your platform of choice is. And don't forget Sunday, Paul Pickett Podcast. We got Steve Panda Banks. And then Tuesday, we got Chachi Versace as well. And Steve Panda Banks will be 2 p.m. on Sundays and 5 p.m. on Tuesday for the Chachi Versace interview. And the interview with Sonny Chiba, that I think will be pre-recorded on a Thursday, and I will live stream it later that day as well. And like I said, I'm working on some bigger interviews. And tomorrow we're doing music reviews. So submit to livefromfayettenam@gmail.com. I repeat, livefromfayettenam@gmail.com. And I will be going live about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time. And remember, I do review all genres of music: hip hop, R&B, pop, reggae, heavy metal, country, folk, whatever it may be. I will review it. Music is music. We're about to wrap it up. We got BKFC in Omaha about to start here real soon. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe as well. And don't forget dizzlebrand.com to get that dizzle. And shouts out to my guys, Chris Roker and Olivia Harris and Mike Dizzle. And appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode of Live from Fayettenam, exclusively Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace, and I'm out.